Thank you so much. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Mr. President, Excellencies. The clock is ticking. The Israeli aggression in Gaza has lasted for far too long. It has massacred far too many lives. 109 days of brutality. Over 25,000 innocent lives taken. Thousands of children buried under the rubble. Mothers and fathers helplessly watching as their sons and daughters die from pain and malnutrition. People carrying the remains of their families in plastic bags. Israel is making a mockery of international law, and the Security Council has yet to demand a ceasefire. It has yet to enforce its own resolution demanding that food gets to the starved, medicine gets to the ill and wounded, and anesthesia gets to children undergoing surgery to treat injuries caused by indiscriminate Israeli shelling of their homes, their schools, hospitals, mosques, churches, and shelters. In what world should an uncle be forced to operate on his teenage niece without anesthesia? Dr. Hani Bseso did. On day 101 of the horror, besieged in his home, he amputated his 16-year-old niece's foot without anesthesia on his home's dining table. A hospital lay just 5 minutes away, but Israel's war prevented him from getting to it. His niece, Ahd, is one of 10 children who lose a limb every day in Gaza, according to Save the Children. Even in a war zone, says Save the Children's director for the occupied Palestinian territory, the sights and sounds of a young child mutilated by bombs cannot be reconciled, let alone understood within the bounds of humanity. Stop this massacre. Every day that goes by without ending this aggression means more innocent lives lost to Israeli firepower, to hunger, and to disease. The threat of a devastating regional spillover is real. The West Bank is boiling. Tensions elsewhere in the region are dangerously rising. Secretary General Guterres said it right. Gaza has become a graveyard for children. No place in Gaza is safe. No place. Even the dead have not escaped the inhumane onslaught. Israeli soldiers dug them out of their graves, literally dug them out of their graves in 16 cemeteries. And these crimes are not the actions of rogue soldiers. They are an expression of the extremist, racist agenda that is propelling this war, and that has systematically dehumanized almost 5.5 million Palestinians under Israeli occupation in Gaza, the West Bank, and East Jerusalem. This ideology of hate, embraced openly by Israeli ministers, is normalizing the mass murder of Palestinians. Excellencies, Israel has destroyed a whole community. It has displaced more than 2/3 of Gaza's population, 1.9 million people who now suffer the indignity of overcrowded shelters, denied access to water, to food, and to medicine. It has starved civilians by deliberately impeding humanitarian assistance. The Integrated Food Security Phase Classification (IPC) assessment for Gaza, released last month, confirmed that the entire population of Gaza is facing acute levels of hunger. Of these, more than 500,000 people are enduring the most extreme stage of hunger, IPC level 5. That means 500,000 Palestinians are starved by Israel. The number of people in this category in Gaza is 4 times that in the rest of the world. No IPC analysis has ever recorded such unprecedented levels of food insecurity anywhere in the world in recent history. This brutality cannot be allowed to continue. You must stop it. Adopting a binding Security Council resolution forcing the end of this misery is the least that you can do. Excellencies, occupation, violence, and war cannot continue to haunt our region. Peace is the only guarantee of security and safety for the Israelis, for the Palestinians, and for the whole region. Partial solutions will not achieve that peace. All talk about approaches that will deal with Gaza outside a comprehensive solution that will end occupation in the West Bank, including East Jerusalem and Gaza, will simply not work. It cannot be more of the same. It cannot be more siege and more oppression. Gazans cannot be told they have once again to endure living in the open prison that Israel has made Gaza for decades. The only path to peace is the establishment of an independent, sovereign Palestinian state with occupied Jerusalem as its capital on June 4, 1967 lines that will live side by side a secure and accepted Israel. All of you support the two-state solution, but the Israeli government is undermining that solution. Israel is openly defying all of you. The Israeli Prime Minister has vowed to never allow the Palestinian people to realize their right to freedom and statehood. That means he will continue to oppress the Palestinian people. His policies and actions are making it impossible for peace to be achieved. This defiance, my friends, cannot continue without consequences. Israel must be held accountable for its actions, for its war crimes, and for preventing the achievement of peace. The future of the region cannot be taken hostage to the political ambitions and the radical agendas of Israeli extremists who describe the Palestinians as human animals, unworthy of life, who enable settler terrorism against Palestinian people. Excellencies, we're facing a decisive moment of truth. The whole international community has an urgent choice to make. Allow the Israeli government to doom the region to more conflict, or recognize the Palestinian state and put our region on an irreversible path to peace. There are no shortage of ideas for the plan that will bring about that peace. However, there's a shortage of will, the will of the Israeli government to allow Palestinians their inalienable rights, and the will of the international community to pay more than lip service to the two-state solution. The clock is ticking. The stakes are too high. What is needed is a transformational move for peace. Make that move. It is a move that must begin with stopping this inhumane aggression, and it must conclude soon enough with ending the occupation, the root cause of all evil. Impose peace, for if you do not, the Israeli government will continue to impose war, impose more death, and impose more hatred in our region. Thank you.